The World Cup round of 16 is behind us. Norway knocking out Brazil, Spain sending Ronaldo home, and the crazy Argentinian comeback is all over, and now we are moving on to the quarterfinals. I'm gonna predict them too, of course. First of all, we're gonna look at my round of 16 results, how I predicted them, how many I got right, and then straight into those 4 remaining games. Let's do it. First game is gonna be Brazil-Norway, and of course, this was the biggest upset I have seen in a lot of years, because there is the Germany and Netherlands, but Brazil losing to Norway, nobody expected this. Even on form, you could say sure, but Brazil should at least be making a quarterfinal, especially when they have Japan and Norway in the first 2 games. Let's be honest, on paper, but Norway doesn't care about what's on paper. They win. I got that one right. Wrong, of course. Then Mexico lose to England, which I did predict England, and I did say Quinones or Jude Bellingham would be the man of the match, and for me, Jude Bellingham was the man of the match, so I got that one right. I said Argentina was, of course, going to beat Egypt, which was much harder than anticipated by a lot of people, but they did get through in the last 12 minutes, which was a crazy comeback. I did say Switzerland are gonna beat Colombia, and I did say Colombia are gonna have a stinker, and that's exactly what happened. They were much better than Switzerland, but they just kept missing chances. Then we have USA-Belgium. I gave USA the benefit of the doubt. They got smoked. Am I even, unhappy that I get this wrong? No. Belgium, W. I got it wrong, though. I got the Portugal result as well wrong. I said Portugal were going to win 2-1. This game was absolutely atrocious. Spain go through. So I am currently on 1, 2, 3 out of 6. I'm going 50%. So it's fine. And then I get Morocco right, of course. I think I said 3-1 Morocco, and then I said France are gonna beat Paraguay. So I went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 results out of 8 games correct, which is not bad. And I predicted the MVP, most of them correctly. I think I said Mbappe here. I think I said Jude. I said Messi MVP. For this one, I genuinely don't remember. I'm not gonna lie, guys. But yeah, that's all I'm going to say about the round of 16s. So far, I am in the positives in the results. Now, today, we're going to predict Argentina, Switzerland, Norway, England, France versus Morocco, and Spain versus Belgium. Why not start with Spain versus Belgium? I genuinely think this will be the most boring game of the tournament. Spain against Portugal was already a snooze fest, I'm not going to lie. Portugal were so unconvincing. But Spain were much better than them as well on the ball. They created more chances. They could have scored more, I think. And Portugal didn't have a lot of chances, to be honest. They just look lackluster, honestly. Portugal and Spain, both of them, they don't look the best. But Spain's biggest strength in this is the defense. They haven't conceded a single goal up until this point. So that's 5 games, I think. But Belgium is one of the top scoring nations as well in this World Cup. If we look, they scored 4 goals, 3 goals, 5 goals, then 0, and then 1, which puts them, I think, in the top 3 or top 4 in this World Cup in scored goals. But Spain, then again, we have a defensive machine who, yes, score goals, but nowhere near as much as Belgium do. This is going to be interesting in terms of who scores first. I think if Belgium scores first, we have a game. But if the game drags on and on and on like it did against Portugal, I think it's going to be a close victory for Spain, honestly, guys. I think Spain have just a little bit too much of a good attack and good bench, compared to Belgium. Because Belgium, once again, yes, they did beat USA 4-1, but I don't know, with Belgium, you can always look at their last match, but you can never count on them to perform as good as they did in the last match, in the last tournament, because they're just weird. They just always bottle in the last final straw, It's usually that game against, for example, I remember in 2018, they beat Brazil, but then they went on to worst the winners, France. Titi, 1 goal from a corner, they just somehow always lose. Even though I think they should, for sure, they have a chance against Spain, because this Spain team, once they concede, I'm telling you guys, they will get nervous. But will they concede? That's the question. Will Lukaku score? Will De Ketelaere score? I don't know. The player I like most from this team, though, has to be Tielemans. Tielemans is such an underrated player, and he always turns up. Even when Trossard and him were beefing against, I think, Senegal, I think Trossard, like, assisted him 5 minutes later. I think the mentality in this Belgian team is actually better than the golden generation because they have no pressure on them. Like Hazard and Chadli and these guys, Witzel, the older generation did. Once again, though, is this defense good enough to stop these guys? I don't think so. I'm going to say this game will see Spain concede their first goal, finally. It will be... it's fitting that Romelu Lukaku will score the first goal. But I think Spain wins 2-1. Narrowly win. It's going to be a similar game to the Portugal one. At least we're going to see more goals. I think Lamine Yamal will finally have like a good game, you know, for his standard. And I think he will be crucial for this game. I just see the defense of Spain being too good for this attack and their attack being too good for this defense. Because let's be honest, even though Belgium are still here, they concede basically almost every single game. So yeah, I think Belgium, good run for this team. I think this is a young team. I think they can do even better once they get, you know, maybe a little bit more from the guys like Doku and these guys that should be performing better than they are. But Spain will go through 2-1, and I'm predicting Lamine Yamal finally an MVP performance. So Spain go through for me for this match, 2-1 victory. Now, we have France versus Morocco. I call this the Mbappe and Hakimi couch lounge, because these guys, apparently in 2022, in the semi-final, they talked to each other for 60 minutes. All they did were talking to each other, bro. That's all I heard. Genuinely, they said this on a podcast when they went on a show like Chouameni Show, you know, that French podcast. I was laughing my ass off, honestly, bro. These two guys, yeah, Mbappe and Hakimi, even though Mbappe will be more so on, you know, Diop and Riyad, I think they're still gonna be with each other, you know. He's gonna be drifting to the left. This is gonna be one of the best games of the World Cup. Like, Morocco genuinely have a chance of beating this France team, honestly. If this French team, you know, it can be a little bit tough with all of these players to be balanced out and actually understand each other. Because in some games, like the first game against, I think, Senegal, the first 45 to 60 minutes, I genuinely was thinking to myself, oh my god, Olise, Dembele, Mbappe, they cannot play with each other. Like, Dembele was losing the ball so much. Olise was trying to do this. Dembele was trying to do this. And that game, I think Doué started as well. I think Barcola actually fits this system way more, because he's just not as dominant and doesn't want the ball that much. He's more so the player that will get the ball here, you know, try to finish or get the ball in behind, which is much better for this French team, because you want the ball to be in Olise's and Dembele's feet most of the time. And then Mbappe will most of the time get it and finish. If he's not there, Barcola is the second guy you look for to finish the chance, which is much better than Doué, who looks to do the same as Olise and Dembele, you know, get on the ball more, do some tricky stuff, you know, be in those tight spaces. You need a little bit something different, which is Barcola. Now, what I don't like about France is they can just, for 15 to 20 minutes, they can genuinely look like they have never played with each other. Like, some instances, they just look lost, honestly. In attack, defense, midfield. We've seen it, by the way, in the past, in the 2022 World Cup. They were sensational for most of the tournament. In those 35-60 minutes against Argentina, they just completely switched off. I've seen the best players for France turn up for the whole tournament, and then one game, oh my goodness, they look like they've never played with each other. This French team, even though the game against Paraguay wasn't the greatest, and all of the shit that's, by the way, going on with the senator is so embarrassing. Mbappe cooked that bitch, by the way. Yes, I called her a bitch. She's a bitch. YouTube, please push this video, yeah? I think France will just have too much. Well, I keep saying this, but they have too much. Look at the bench. If I could look at the bench, yeah? They, for example, yeah, have Chouameni, who's doubtful, but I think he's going to be on the bench. They have Theo Hernandez. They still have Doué. They have Flippin' Mateta. Who else do they have? Thuram. They have so many midfielders as well. So many good players that can just come off the bench and perform like everybody else on the pitch. Maybe apart from, you know, Olise, Mbappe, and maybe Dembele. But Dembele is really on and off for France, I would say. Now, on the other hand, Morocco, I think they have, you know, genuinely, I think they have more fight. I think still, even though I've seen Mbappe fight for the team, these guys are, they are good with each other, but they are just relentless, and I genuinely think everybody in here can score a goal. which is, sometimes you look at this team and you look at them like they don't really have a superstar. I would say Hakimi is probably their biggest superstar, in attack. But they don't, in attack, in the whole team. But they don't have like a attacking outlet, really. Saibari was that, but Saibari got injured. I think it's a hamstring injury. I think he's out of the World Cup. But Unahi, El Khanous, Brahim Diaz are so elite at doing everything up to like a 7, 8 out of 10 that they are just so well balanced. Brahim Diaz, more so, on the ball, he finalizes the attack. Unahi, El Ainoui, and Buhari, they just run for life. They don't lose the ball. They are so good, receiving the ball from the defense and just playing it out the back. And then again, El Khanous, a little bit more faster, a little bit more of a proper winger than Brahim Diaz. But it's a shame they lost Saibari, honestly. I would be giving Morocco way, way more chances if they had Saibari, because Saliba and Upamecano, sure, they're great. I think Saliba is a little bit worse this tournament, actually, than Upamecano. I think Upamecano has looked great. But together, that is sometimes I just don't feel that confident. Once again, this battle will be won. Who is going to be better in that midfield? Is it going to be Rabiot, Kone, and Olise, or Unahi, El Ainoui, and Buhari? Goes both ways, defensively, attacking wise, because Olise is basically the main outlet. You see Unahi basically won the game against Canada, which Morocco, by the way, didn't play well at all. And that's why I think France will be too much for them, because even against Canada, where Morocco are the favorites, they didn't look better than Canada for most of the game. Yes, they won the game 3-0, but if you watch the game, it was just lackluster from them. Honestly, they could have conceded more. They didn't look great in defense, but once again, they had that quality to finish their chances, which Canada they don't have, that much quality. Bono, I think, is one of the best keepers in genuinely, he might be one of the best keepers in the world. He is one of the best keepers in this World Cup, and that will be one of the best things that can happen to Morocco against this French team. I think this game goes to extra time. Both teams are going to be balanced out. But if you know, you know. Kylian Mbappe in extra time might be the most dangerous player in the world. Kylian Mbappe will be the MVP of this match once again. And France will go on to win this game 3-1 in extra time. It will be 1-1 after 90 minutes and 3-1 for France, which will have just too much of the bench for Morocco. But I think Morocco can give France a game. I wouldn't be surprised if this goes to penalties, or if Morocco can even do something against France, because in this tournament I've seen anything happen. Like Egypt almost beat Argentina, guys. So, but yeah, my official prediction is 3-1 France after extra time. Let's move on to the FIFA versus Switzerland. I'm just joking. Chill out, Messi fanboys. I'm just joking. Argentina versus Switzerland. Will I be watching this game? No. 3 a.m. That's just now. Yeah, Switzerland. How did they get through Colombia, guys, is beyond me. Like, 15-3 to 7-2, 1 expected goal, 0.39, even with less ball possession. Colombia should have went through, guys. Like, Colombia, much more quality in attack, much more quality on the ball, way better players in attack. Switzerland just played it safely, and they just got lucky, in my opinion. They honestly got lucky. Like, sure, Colombia should have finished their chances, but at the end of the day, if you go to a penalty shootout, it's your own fault for not finishing your chances, and I agree, Switzerland just won the 50-50 in the penalty shootout. I still don't understand how Akanji, by the way, missed that penalty, and then you miss your penalty. Cucho Hernandez, bro, you're not doing La Liga any justice in these penalty shootouts, man. But hey, they lost. I think this, honestly, Argentina and Switzerland, this can go anyway, bro. Like, I don't know what to think about Argentina. Like, they played against Egypt for 80 minutes like they haven't seen a football. It looked like Messi was playing with 10 children, especially these 3 midfielders, which were doing 0 defending and 0 pressing, and then these defenders who were getting absolutely cooked by Hassan and Mohamed Salah in 2026, guys. I don't know what to think, honestly. This can go both ways. I am just gonna go, once again, with the FIFA boy, Lionel Messi, to go through, because Switzerland, they look even worse than Egypt. Honestly, they look worse than Egypt. They look worse than Colombia. I think if Colombia went through, instead of Switzerland, I would have been giving the win to Colombia. Colombia against Argentina is always a great game, and I think they have like a 50-50 record in the last 5 to 6 years, and I think they could have given him a better game. I just don't see this team going through. I'm gonna say Argentina, I don't know, they win 2-1. Honestly, this is such a 50-50 game, and people might be like, oh, but Argentina are so good, they have Messi. Bro, they're not good. Let's be honest, guys, they are not good. Argentina is overrated in terms of how good people they think they are. Are they good? Sure. But are they the top one nation? Hell no. I think Argentina would have lost to England. I think Argentina would have lost to Norway. Honestly, I do. See this defense? What is this doing against Nusa, Oscar Bob, and Erling Haaland? Nothing. Honestly, guys. Until I see like the run that Argentina has been given, and I know they finished first in their group, but let's be honest, guys. Like Brazil did that too. Like France did that too. They still have a way worse run than Argentina. So it was still lucky to get this run. But hey, you can only beat the team that's in front of you, and that's exactly what Argentina is gonna do. I'm just gonna say Messi is gonna be the MVP because none of these players move me. Honestly, this Argentinian team without Messi would be finishing last in the group. That's just genuinely my opinion. I'm gonna say 2-1 Argentina against Switzerland. Probably gonna be one of the craziest games of the World Cup once again, because this team cannot defend and they can attack. So what's better than not defending and attacking, right, guys? 2-1 Argentina, Messi, MVP. Is it boring? Maybe. Norway versus England. Once again. What a game this could be. Why is Quansah in this? Didn't he get a red card? Okay. I don't know why Quansah is in this. Maybe they are doing a Balogun, but Quansah is not playing. But these two teams, I honestly, if England don't win this, I'm gonna be so surprised. Because yes, Brazil, they couldn't press. Let's be honest, guys. They couldn't press Norway. They couldn't attack. Vinicius was completely out of it. They missed a penalty. Endrick misses a one-on-one chance. Like, Brazil could have beat this Norway team. Once again, Erling Haaland, if he's on it, I think he can score at least one goal against this English team. But when I look at this midfield, with Jude Bellingham, Kane, even this defense, Pickford, the last game against Mexico, I honestly think this was one of the best performances I've seen from England, maybe ever. Honestly, guys, like, they played 40 minutes without one player. They played with 10 men for 40 minutes in the Azteca, in that altitude, against the hosting nation, Mexico, in Mexico. Like, what else is there to say? Honestly, guys, like, they conceded right before halftime as well. Then Kane scores that penalty, and they concede a penalty too after being 10 men, after playing with 10 men, and they still went on to defend this lead. And people were like, oh yeah, but they parked the bus. Of course they did. 10 men. They played with 10 men. Jude Bellingham is one of the best players in the world, period. He's not just the best midfielder. And yeah, I'm going to predict a crazy, result. But I think this game will actually finish 3-1 for England. I don't care what anyone says. I think this is Norway's last game at the World Cup. I genuinely think this Brazil game was already too much for them. Brazil just absolutely choked it, let's be honest. Like, second goal of Haaland's, what a finish, but why does he have so much space? Gabriel for the first goal, he's absolutely sleeping. Endrick should have scored. Bruno Guimaraes doesn't score the penalty. Like, Gabriel Martinelli can't header the ball when Casemiro puts in a world-class cross. Brazil should have won that game, guys. Like, if it wasn't for Haaland, this Norwegian team, honestly, guys, I don't think they scored a single goal against Brazil. They could have had 95 minutes and they still couldn't have scored a goal because they just don't have that outlet. I think Haaland scores this game, but the press and the quality in midfield will just be too much. I can honestly see Bellingham scoring again, probably Kane scoring again, because they are just that good. They are both the superstars of this English team. And you know what? I think it's time for Saka to actually do something other than just a random assist. Because if you watch the game against Mexico, Saka for me is just underwhelming. Honestly, I don't know if it's the injury. He was still underwhelming. Even, that cross I mean, it's fine. Like, Saka's performances so far at the World Cup, I think it has been skewed by his injury record and how he's actually feeling, but I just expected more, honestly, guys. I'm gonna say 3-1 England. That's... who's gonna be the MVP? You know what? I'm just gonna back my boy again. Why not? Jude Bellingham will be the MVP of this match once again. 3-1 for England. And yes, did I predict every single flippin', what is it called? Every single favorite? Yes. I think we are at the stage where no upsets will be happening. England go through, Argentina go through, then we have France going to against Morocco, and Spain just about beating Belgium. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know down below your predictions as well. Comment, like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Peace out!